The crash shook Jake's cabin so hard that his coffee mug shattered on the floor. He grabbed his rifle by instinct, years of combat training overriding 5 years of mountain solitude. Through the window, he saw the impact crater smoldering in his meadow, and something massive was crawling out of it. A dragon. Scales like molten copper, wings torn and bleeding. It was young, maybe the size of a horse, and it was dragging itself toward his porch. Jake's finger tightened on the trigger. He'd seen plenty of alien species during the war, trusted none of them. But then the creature spoke. "Please," it rasped in broken human speech. "Help me." They coming. Jake stepped onto the porch, rifle raised. The dragon collapsed at the bottom of his steps, one wing bent at an unnatural angle, black blood pooling beneath it. Its golden eyes met his, and he saw something he recognized. Terror, the same look he'd seen in dying soldiers. "Who's coming?" Jake demanded. "Hunters, slavers. They killed my mother. They want me." The dragon's voice cracked. "Please, human, I know you're kind. You fight for the weak." Jake's jaw clenched. That was propaganda from the war, the idea that humans were noble protectors. He knew better. He'd done things in that war that still woke him screaming. But looking at this broken creature begging on his doorstep, he made a choice he didn't fully understand. Barn. Now, before I change my mind. He helped the dragon limp to the old structure behind his cabin, its weight nearly crushing him. Inside, he examined the wing by lamplight. Shattered bones, infected tissue, burns from energy weapons. His hands moved automatically, reaching for the medkit he always kept nearby. Combat medic training never really left you. "What's your name?" he asked, cleaning the wound. "Ember," she hissed in pain as he worked. "My mother called me Ember because I was born during the fire. I'm Jake. This is going to hurt." He set the wing as best he could, using splints made from barn wood. Ember whimpered but didn't pull away. As he worked, she told him everything. Her nest in the Crystal Mountains. Her mother teaching her to fly the day the ships came. Alien mercenaries working for off-world collectors who paid fortunes for young dragons. Her mother had fought them, bought Ember time to escape, but not enough time. "She died protecting me," Ember whispered, "and I ran like a coward." Jake paused, his hands stilling. "You survived. That's what she wanted." He finished bandaging her wing and was mixing antibiotics when he heard it, the low hum of engines. He moved to the barn door and looked up. 3 ships, sleek and predatory, were descending toward his property. They landed in his meadow, exactly where Ember had crashed. Jake's mind shifted into tactical mode. 3 ships meant probably 6 to 9 hostiles. They'd have scanners, energy weapons, maybe armor. Prisoner. He had his rifle, a pistol, and some old military gear he'd never thrown away. Not great odds, but he'd faced worse. He turned to Ember. "Stay here, don't make a sound. If things go bad, there's a ravine 1/2 mile north. Follow it downstream. You'll die fighting them," Ember said. "Maybe, but I don't run anymore." 3 figures emerged from the ships. Tall, reptilian, covered in battle armor that gleamed in the afternoon sun. The leader, distinguished by red markings on his helmet, approached Jake's porch. "Human," the alien's voice boomed through a translator. "We detected a dragon crash here. Surrender it, and you'll be compensated. 50,000 credits. Jake leaned against his porch railing, rifle across his lap. "Don't know what you're talking about." The leader's head tilted. "Our scans don't lie. The dragon is here. This doesn't concern you. We're authorized bounty hunters. This is my property. Everything on it concerns me." One of the other hunters laughed, a harsh clicking sound. "Foolish human. We've killed dozens of your kind. Don't die for a creature you don't even know." Jake smiled, and it wasn't friendly. "You really don't know much about humans, do you? We don't need a reason to be stubborn. It's just how we're built." The lead hunter's hand moved toward his weapon. Last chance. Jake's rifle snapped up and he fired. The shot caught the laughing hunter in the throat, right where the armor had a seam. The alien went down gurgling. The battle began. Energy blast tore through his porch as Jake rolled back into his cabin. He'd spent 5 years preparing this place, not even knowing why. Now he knew. He triggered the first trap, and an explosion ripped through his meadow, catching one hunter in the blast. The alien shields flickered and died. Jake moved through his cabin like a ghost, using passages he'd built into the walls. He emerged from a window, fired twice, and dropped the wounded hunter before vanishing again. 2 down, 1 to go, plus whoever was in the ships. But the leader was smart. Energy blasts began systematically destroying the cabin, cutting off Jake's escape routes. He was forced into the open, rolling behind his water trough as shots superheated the air above him. "You fight well for a human," the leader called. "But you're alone, outgunned. Surrender the dragon, and I'll let you live." Jake checked his ammunition. 4 rounds left. Not enough. He looked toward the barn and saw movement. No. Ember was emerging, dragging herself forward on 3 legs, her splinted wing hanging uselessly. "Stop!" Jake shouted. "Get back!" But Ember kept coming, her eyes blazing with fury. "You don't die for me, human! I won't let another—" The energy blast hit her in the chest, lifting her off her feet and slamming her into the barn wall. She collapsed, smoke rising from the wound. Everything in Jake went cold. He stood up from behind the trough, walking directly toward the lead hunter. Energy blasts scorched the ground around him, but he didn't stop. He fired once, twice, 3 times, each shot precise, controlled. The hunter's shield sparked and failed. The 4th shot took the alien in the center of his chest. Jake was on him before he hit the ground, ripping the energy weapon from dying hands and turning toward the ships. Pilots were emerging, weapons raised. He killed them both with controlled bursts, then destroyed the ship engines for good measure. Silence fell over the meadow. Jake dropped the alien weapon and ran to Ember, breathing, barely. The wound in her chest leaked black blood, and her scales were fading from copper to gray. Jake pressed his hands against the injury, trying to stop the bleeding, knowing it was useless. "I'm sorry," he choked out. "I should have been faster. I should have—" "You gave me something," Ember whispered, her eyes focused on his face. "My mother died alone. I didn't. Thank you, Father." The word broke something in Jake. Tears ran down his face as Ember's breathing slowed, then stopped. Her eyes went dull. He held her, this creature he'd known for less than a day, and grieved like he hadn't grieved since the war took everything from him. Then he felt it, warmth against his hands. Ember's chest scales were glowing, soft golden light pulsing beneath them. There. He pulled back, confused as the scales began to separate. Something was emerging. An egg. No bigger than his fist, opalescent and warm, pulsing with inner light. As it rolled free, Ember's body began to dissolve into ash, scattering on the wind like embers from a dying fire. Jake caught the egg, cradling it against his chest. Understanding crashed over him. Dragons didn't die. Not completely. They gave everything they had left to ensure the future. Ember had used her last spark of life to create this, her child, her hope. He looked down at the egg, feeling its heartbeat against his palm, steady and strong. 5 years he'd hidden in these mountains, convinced his life was over, that he had nothing left to fight for. He'd been wrong. Jake stood, holding the egg carefully, and looked at the destruction around him. His cabin was burning. 3 alien ships sat dead in his meadow. Bodies of hunters who'd learned too late what it meant to threaten something a human decided to protect. He had no idea how to raise a dragon. No idea what challenges lay ahead. But as he felt that tiny heartbeat against his skin, he knew one thing with absolute certainty. He would guard this life with everything he had. Ember had called him father in her final breath, and he would honor that. The last dragon would not face this universe alone, not while Jake drew breath. He turned toward the ravine, the egg warm in his hands, and began walking. Behind him, smoke rose into the evening sky. Ahead lay uncertainty, danger, and a purpose he never expected to find. But for the first time in 5 years, Jake wasn't running from his past. He was running toward a future, and he wasn't alone anymore.